Welcome to the Gump Report. You never know what you're going to get. Here's another video. I don't know if this is going to be uploaded this week because this is the 12th. If you have not seen my other two videos, which is Can Tyler Breeze do the Up Up Down Down show, Battle of the Brands, or the Ric Flair and DJ Lethal, what was of that? See those videos, you'll understand why if I did upload this, a third video on this day was because I feel so pissed off. Because simply put, I messed up on the video for today and I refilmed it now within less than an hour. Less than an hour. No editing. I just threw it up there to make up and apologize to everybody because I screwed up. And a full explanation on both the Tyler Breeze particularly is a lot more lengthy video and the Ric Flair and Jay Lethal. Want to know what happened? Check those two videos out first. Counting if this one is uploaded in the same week. Maybe it might not be. I don't know yet. It depends on what happens this Wednesday. And this is about Malakai Black. Malakai. Now, let's do a little bit of backstory here. Let's make this very clear. The Tommy End, the Aleister Black, who has been released from WWE, and WWE was stupid enough not to check his NXT contract and updated to make him have a no wrestling clause, no compete clause. That normally for a main roster talent, and I want to make this clear, a main roster talent who come from NXT, their original contract when they go into NXT states that when you're released, you have 30 days you have to wait before you're able to wrestle anywhere or you will be liable and we can basically sue you. When you go to the main roster, no matter what amount of time you stay there, when you go there, any NXT contract is usually updated, and one of those updates, I don't know what all of them, but one of them is that when you are released or fired, you have a no compete clause for 90 days. So you got 30 and you got 90. Some total stupid ass idiot, no matter if they're a man or woman, I ain't going to be stupid. Your equality is equality. You stupid bitch, no matter if you're a man or woman, didn't remember to update his rematch clause. Not rematch, his non-compete clause. Because like I said, once you move from NXT to the main roster, no matter if it's SmackDown or Raw, they have to update your contract, and 30 days has to be extended to 90 days. Someone didn't do that. And when they realized it, it was too late. Because once they released him, they can't make him do the extra 60. That's the reason why after a month, which is 36 days from, I believe, the contract expiration, and he's released, he went on AEW and he made a big wave. So now, he's on AEW as Malakai Black, taking the bits that was constructed from the character he had from WWE. And I want to make this clear to every person who watches this damn video, because I've seen comments, at least one or two of them, from either the same person or multiple people. Not very rarely is multiple people, but like one person or two or three sometimes. They say they can't stand that another WWE guy comes in. Look, I want to make this clear to you. You know who you are. And I tried to explain this to you in the comments. I'm going to say it to you dead in your face. And understand, I care about all of y'all. I care. Because I want you to experience joy when you see wrestling. And I know it's not easy. Wrestling is not the way it used to be. It is very, very messed up right now. I know. But you need to understand, like I had to learn this myself as a reviewer. Understand, as a reviewer, I had to learn several things. And one thing is that when someone worked in a company for many years does not mean they should be typecast to that damn company. No matter if they're the best talent there is or a jobber. Because remember, in WWE, try to remember this, guys. In WWE, they could have the best wrestler you've ever known, like an AJ Styles, like a Samoa Joe, like a Daniel Bryan, Let's say The Rock came up around this time. He came from the indies with the same character he had the last time he was working for the company and was over like shit, like stink. If they throw him into being a jobber, even when he shows every ability he has, what does that mean? Does that mean he's an ex-WWE guy? Or does that mean the company never knew either what to do with him or even wanted to use him because simply they didn't care? Remember, the WWE is just a big machine, and everyone who goes through it, either the wrestlers, the refs, the people who set up the equipment, the people in the production truck, the people of lighting, the makeup artists, the people who do the clothing, even the ones who make sure they just load and unload the equipment to make the ring. It's just a big load in the company, like a cog in the wheel. It goes right through, and when it runs down, they get rid of them. The only ones they'll never get rid of is Steph, is Vince, and as far as I remember, when it comes to Triple H, he's not getting fired because he's family. And then when it comes to Shane McMahon, as far as I know, he left the company. He's gone. So unless you choose to leave, you'll never get fired. Vince is not going to fire himself. Steph is never getting fired. Paul is never getting fired. And if Shane was still there, he wouldn't be fired either. He would stay as long as he wanted to. That's the ones that would never get thrown out. So you keep thinking over and over again, this is just another WWE guy making a mess in AEW or NWA or Impact Wrestling. Remember, a lot of them never even got a freaking chance. Many of them, like Malakai Black, they did nothing with him. He had one of the, I gotta say this, and this is the truth. If you look at the time when he was in NXT, his gimmick was one of the best you could have seen that could have easily not overtaken The Undertaker. But he could have been the one that could have taken the place of Undertaker. Of course, this is Undertaker. This is Tommy N. There is no way he's ever going to get to the caliber of an Undertaker ever in his career. But it doesn't mean that who is the Themon, the greatest, 10 out of 10, he couldn't hit a 7. He couldn't hit an 8. He could have hit that. He could have hit not near the top level of an Undertaker, but he had the correct charisma. He had the kind of style that was of the current time, but his attitude was that of the Taker, not Bray Wyatt. Because Bray Wyatt's had multiple chances and he's never gotten anywhere. Now, he could have been, but he never got anywhere. Once he went to the main roster, they kept dropping him and then dropping him. But then when you look at Aleister Black, he had that dark mystique like The Undertaker. I'm not saying that Bray Wyatt wasn't a great talent and he couldn't have been like an Undertaker. He was so close to becoming similar to an Undertaker, at least similar to what I'm saying to a Tommy N. He was here, but then he kept going down. And now where is he? Nowhere. They done nothing with him. They let his gimmick go to Alexa Bliss because she's cute. She has been good as a manager. She got a new tit job. And understand, she got a tit job because of her, anorexia or bulimia. She wanted to improve her body to remind herself that she's beautiful. Okay? You can say a lot about Alexa Bliss. You can say that she's taken advantage of it. She screwed over Bray Wyatt. Yes. But the woman either has anorexia or bulimia. I can't remember which one. I think it was anorexia. But she got the tit job to give herself a better persona physically. Change her look at least a little bit to remind herself that she is a beautiful woman and she shouldn't mutilate or mention. Well, I can't remember the word is. But I'll remember it. It'll probably come to me. But essentially, she wanted to make herself look good. And let's be honest. She's a good-looking woman, a great set of fake tits. And she's a nice woman, too. We know this. But I don't blame her directly for taking the Bray Wyatt character. It's not her fault. She did a good job. She got rewarded for it. That's why she's in most storylines. Emaciated. There you go. See, I told you I remember eventually. I'm so damn slow. I've always been slow. But you look at Aleister Black. Aleister Black. Can you hear me? Yeah. I have to check sometimes. Sorry for the noise, guys. But when it comes to Aleister Black, the Tommy M, and just what he did was the wisest thing to do. He took what he had been allowed to build on the main roster that should have had some type of line with, let's be honest here. He should have had that feud with Biggie Langston. They just dropped him like a sack of potatoes instantly when they didn't think they needed him. And so he took the character, which no one else is going to use because there's no character like him in the company, unless it's Bray Wyatt and he's not there. He took it to NXT, took it from NXT, his beginnings of his Aleister Black character, probably took pieces of that, added with the Dark Father thing that he was building, now gone to AEW. Now you're going to have that on AEW television. And you never know when they're going to start using some of the similar types of effects that he did in NXT. I would be shocked if they took some of the similar aspect of his intro, his introduction, anytime when he entered the ring, and he gets it done, and the WWE cannot copyright it because it's a different company and it doesn't look exactly the same. And even though it is, they can't fuck with him. They can't. Because as long as it's not the exact same thing, as long as it's been tweaked enough to look different, and it will be different, he is going to get away with it. And the WWE and Triple H is going to be so fucking mad. Triple H went to back for many of the ones who went on the main roster, including Tommy. He's been wanting Tommy to be treated right for years, and I know he's been there 3 years on the main roster, and they've done nothing with him. I know he's never been happy with most of the people he sent up there that could have worked if they just left their personas, their music, and their ring style alone. I'm not saying that every NXT star, wrestler, let's put it in wrestler, would make it, but when it came down to it, almost no one, except for maybe a Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, or a Charlotte Flair, because she kept using the Flair name. They allowed them to keep the personas they already developed on NXT. It's only 3 people out of more than 30. At least 30. Let's take this perspective. How many people they've gone through. Zelina Vega, you can say whatever you want about her. Andrade Cien Momos. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, you got Chad Gable, you got, when it came down to it, Otis, Tucker, The Ascension, they came up on there. They didn't get treated right. When it came down to the Grizzle President, what are they called? I think the Brothers of Anarchy. I'm trying to remember because there was I can't remember the name of the team, but that one, the Viking Raiders. You want me to keep going? There's so many people that have been coming up that they changed the persona so much. Daniel Bryan changed him. When it came to Dean Ambrose, they changed him. When it came to who else? Just so many people. The only ones they didn't change was AJ Styles, who came in on his own. Rhea Ripley, Ember Moon, Asuka. When it came to Kairi Sane, when it came to, look at Shayna Baszler. Oh my, the woman was dominant beyond anything. She is a former MMA star that became a pro wrestler who had some of the best work, and they make her job her ass off. The only one they continue pushing in her main persona, I just remembered, and they don't want to get rid of her because, let's be honest, she has hurt people. Nia Jax, I just remembered. Nia Jax has gone through different persona moves, like everyone else, but she should have been fired. She broke the nose of a Becky Lynch. She hit her so hard, she shattered her nose and she literally was bleeding everywhere. She didn't care about doing the right thing. She hurt people. Hurt people. You can't tell me I'm wrong about that. And look what's going to happen now. Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux. Now they're separating for no apparent reason. Look what they've done to pretty much. They're going to bring up Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed. He's not going to work because he isn't ready yet. Then you look at the one that everyone said would not be screwed with. Well, two. The two they never thought would be screwed with. Matt Riddle, which he's now Riddle, and he sucks. And even though he is in the storyline and in an odd couple type of situation with a Randy Orton is not too bad, look at, oh my gosh. His own woman, Mia Yim, has never been treated right. From when it came to Retribution and everybody in there. Mustafa Ali, but the one that I'm talking about, you know who he is. You know who he is. Keith Lee. The one that everyone thought Vince would love and leave alone. What did they do? They changed his music. They forced him to change his ring attire. And then he disappeared to go to the performance center to work on his ring work. He came back and then he disappeared again. Why? No one knows. He doesn't have covert. He's not injured. What is going on? Is it because Vince wanted him to be all cut and muscled out? Is that the reason? If that's it, that shows you how bad that the WWE treated the people. And this leads back to the beginning of what I said about former ex-WWE wrestlers. Stop it. I'm telling you now, all of you who's hearing my voice, who knows what I'm talking about. You keep saying, I can't stand that AEW Impact has all these old WWE guys. Or NWA. Listen to me. Listen. Have an open mind. You know how people were treated in WWE, no matter if they're a jobber or they were top talent. They fucked them. Who cares if they came from WWE? Let it go. Because in the end, you know what? And I'm saying this to you guys as someone who cares about you enjoying wrestling. Literally. And I may say, fuck Impact Wrestling. Fuck AEW. And then fuck NWA because they're not practicing proper things for their product and their wrestlers or the fans in that. They're nothing like the WWE. They're not. And every time when someone says another ex-WWE guy, you are the one you're hurting. Not the company. Not the wrestlers. You, because you don't have an open mind to think, yeah, these guys got nothing done in WWE. Maybe they will in the other companies. You make yourself restrict. You're restricting yourself. Not willing to let them try to be something different. Now, mind you, making it clear. Are there a lot of those wrestlers who suck? Yeah. And you won't know if they suck because the WWE forced them to suck. I know it sounds like, come on, man. No. I'm telling you. There's a lot of things that happen in wrestling in WWE where they will tell them, say the same thing, act the same way, wear something similar to what you've been wearing, and don't change. When you do, you get in trouble. That's not a lie. So why would they care after that? They stay there until the release, and then when they finally go to another company, unless they don't care and they stay the same way, you don't know if they're going to change. So have an open mind for once. Please, you're not going to be happy unless you listen to someone who's explaining it to you. Listen. Don't just type and just say, look, you don't understand. Yes, I do. I'm 50 this year. I've probably been watching wrestling longer than you have been alive. Some of you not even older than 30 or maybe in your early 40s. I'm probably older than you are. When I first started wrestling, it's probably when you started being born. And I'm not saying I'm the biggest and I know the best about wrestling, but I am telling you as someone who had gone through so much in my life. You guys know generally what I'm talking about. I'm not saying I know everything about wrestling, but I am saying that if you have a closed mind on things, it's not easy to not have a closed mind. You're not going to enjoy yourself. I still have a closed mind on many things, but at least I'm mindful of it and I try to go outside it. Why do you think I do an anime show that has figures that dance and I have to do voice acting? I'm trying to not be so restrictive. Well, at this time I'm not doing voice acting, but I am doing the animation part. I'm going to revamp my channel. If you want to know, Tell me below in the comments about, yeah, I know you're not caring about any animation I do. But if you want to know what things I do other than wrestling, if you don't know already, ask me. I'll leave a connection. And I would like to ask you, if you could, share it with somebody, because it ain't easy to make those videos. These are only a few minutes. Those can take days or maybe a week. I'm just saying. And I hope you enjoyed this Gump report. Please give me a comment below. Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you like and how you dislike. Peace.